right? It's normal as long as we are alive and we keep relating with one another that things might go messier, that things may not go as planned. It's normal for us to have misunderstanding with each other. It's also part of life expectation that two persons may come to the point of argument. It's also not out of place that people who were deeply in love with each other may fall out. They may have a fallout. But the fact that we have misunderstanding does not necessarily mean we cannot amend our ways. All right? At the same time, it does not mean that things cannot be done better. And so many persons have found themselves lonely in relationship that other persons may be thinking that there is something serious going on between them. A couple of persons may be happy, putting up a happy front, a smiling front, but they are going through deep pains. And some still in that same relationship, not because they can't move on, but because they are scared if they can even have another person that they can start afresh with. Most persons do not even know when to call it off because of what society would say, because of what people would say. A couple of persons may be like, maybe things may change. Let me just put a little effort, expecting the better, only to end up getting the worst. And some persons do not even know what are the real red flags for you not to even work on making things better, but for you to take a walk. What are those red flags? So if you are among any of those categories, then this is actually the right place for you because we are going to be discussing issues around when relationship hits the stone, when it hits the rock, that moment where things are no longer working, or that moment where you're having misunderstanding with your partner, what should you do? How do you identify those things? So if you are just connecting and you fall among this category, then this is the right place for you. Sit back, let's discuss heart to heart. Share with us your own experience, and then let's see how to rub our minds together and pick up the best possible solutions. Okay, so I want to believe that you're actually doing well, your day actually went well. So let me know where you're connecting from, and if you're just connecting and you're just meeting this channel for the first time, I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Milad. Thank you so much, Milad. I'm grateful having you here. Where are you connecting from? And also, while you're typing, please, Midland, help me click the like button. Please, if you're just connecting, help me click the like button. Thank you so much, everyone, for connecting. I really appreciate our presence here. Let me know where you're connecting from. So, as I said earlier, we're talking about today's discussion is on when things goes messier, when things are not going as planned in a relationship. How do you handle misunderstanding? How do you identify when to look for solution? How do you even know that there are people that are in love with each other but do not even know that your partner has fallen out, your partner have moved on. So how do you identify when things are not going as expected? And then when do you take a walk? Those are things we want to be discussing. So thank you so much everyone for connecting. I really appreciate our presence. Let me know where you're connecting from. And please, if you are here to like the live stream, please help me click the like button, okay? So there's this family, right? When they got married with each other, the man is actually a working class. So the man wanted to put things together. We know, especially in the African setting, although generally they might people out there may have the same perspective. So the man was working in an office and one of the major organizations. So the work demanded more from him, especially with his upgrade in his position. With every promotion, the job description gets broader. So it needed more of his time. And we know that women naturally, they are persons that actually wants more of their male counterpart to always be available for them. So the lady who happens to be his wife was not getting much of his present. So most time when he comes home, he's exhausted because of the day's stress, the day's activities. He had to settle misunderstanding between different staffs and so on. So he's already stressed out. So when he comes home, he doesn't even have time for the lady. And to worsen things, when they're actually trying to make out, it doesn't even last that long on bed for the lady. So she was really of concern. She was worried. And most times she tends to discuss. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you so much. It's amazing having you here. Let me know where you're connecting from. And also, please help me click the like button, okay? Just help me like the live stream. Please, if you're just connecting, help me like the live stream. So the both of them, the lady had been complaining to him and was like, thank you so much, comfort, thank you so much. So the lady used to tell him, please, I am not getting comfortable with this absence. It seems we are having distance in this relationship. Things are not going well. And as couples, I think there should be time. Thank you so much, everyone, for connecting. Please help me like the live stream, okay? So I think there should be more time for us to bond together. But things were not even going as expected for the lady. The more she complained, the more things were not getting better. So it got to a point, they by chance, they got two children, and the eldest son happened to be schooling abroad, while the youngest one was there about 13 years. Sorry, no, not 13, he was about 8 years old. The eldest son was at least up to 30 years. So he was in school, and then the junior one was actually at home with them. It got to a point where most times he will go for a trip that will take him into months before he will return. So the wife had those moments where she was all alone to herself. Unlucky for her, she had a friend who now counseled her to see how to associate and mingle with younger boys, to mingle with all those guys out there. So she started just, there is this saying that said that bad communication corrupts good manners. So she started associating with other young guys, and before you know, she started having extramarital relationship with those persons. And it got so bad that she doesn't even have time enough at home because she needs to see how to make herself happy out there. So at some point, when the husband started noticing that things have started falling out in the family, so he wanted to see how to breach it, but it was already getting too late for him to fix things. So what happened was that there was somebody the husband was close to, but what happened was that this person was going through a hard time and the husband wanted to help. He genuinely wanted to help the lady. So he requested the lady to come to the house so that possibly he could be able to help her in any way possible he could do so. Now, this was coming from a genuine mindset, but when the wife saw her in the house, she wasn't comfortable with her presence. She thought maybe there is an ulterior motive, especially when the woman could cook very well, and then the wife did not even have sufficient time to even prepare food for the husband. And we know there's this saying that says the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, right? So the lady was virtually doing everything. But this jealousy was so strong in the lady. And we know females, they are mostly jealous, especially when somebody is close to their lover, right? So it kept going that bad that she started hating that girl. Not so long, she started hating the girl. And then at some point, the son came to the house. She came to visit during one of the holidays. And then when he saw the girl, the son was attracted to the girl. And so he started asking her, trying to build a relationship with her, of which it actually happened so that they both fell in love with each other. But the woman was more or less feeling that the girl was having something to do with the husband. So she wanted to see how to fix things. One of those days, she decided to end it up with the other guy, which is more or less like his sugar son. So he wanted to end things up with him. But what happened was that the guy was not accepting. The guy did not accept it. Unfortunately for her, during that period when she was trying to mend things so that she can see how to get her husband's attention, her daughter was not feeling fine. And the house help, which happened to be this other girl, tried to reach out to her, but she was not taking the call. In fact, I even skipped me to tell us that that morning before she went to see the sugar boy, the daughter was not feeling fine. So the house help have called her attention and say, your daughter is not feeling fine. She told you and things like that. She was even playing down on it because of her jealousy. Was feeling, are you the one to teach me what I'm supposed to do and things like that. But that, I think in the afternoon thereabout, the situation of the daughter got very worse. So the girl had to reach out, and she had switched off her phone because she was with the sugar boy, where she was hanging out with him. So that they can know what to do. But she was not taking a call. They called the dad. He was also not accessible. Before this, her son and the house help girl to the hospital have already lost the daughter. It was a pain to her. And then at the end of the day, she was struggling between the guilt of her, in the sense that if she was present at home, the daughter wouldn't have gotten to that point. So she was suffering between that guilt and then how to tell the husband things that have gone wrong, because this lady is already in the picture and she felt the husband was having something to do with the lady. So now, why do I have to share this with us? Most persons most time think that when it has to do with cheating, that it must always be the man, or it is a flaw of any of the person at all that's involved. Sometimes cheating may not necessarily be coming as something that has to do with someone's flaw or someone's attempt to hurt another person. Most time it may come, cheating may come into a relationship when we don't have time for each other, when we claim we are too busy, when we claim we don't, the feelings or the emotion of the other person does not matter. That's how it comes in. And most times, when we see two persons together, we feel that they are actually bonded together, they are in love, and everything is all rosy. But we do not know that two people can actually be under one roof, but their hearts and miles away. They're actually miles away in the heart. They're not emotionally connected. So, what are those possible things that could make two persons who are under the same roof, but yet their hearts are far apart from each other? One, when when people started out making out with each other, or when they're in love with each other, each person will say, I don't like this point, these are the things I don't like, these are my dislike. That person appointed, I don't like this thing, you keep repeating the same thing. It will lead to misunderstanding. It is a sign that you don't even value the person enough. You don't respect their boundary. So when you cross your partner's boundary, it is something that can actually lead to a misunderstanding. And then what are other things that could make two persons under the same roof and they are actually hearts away from each other? When you don't value each other, you can disgrace each other in the public. You can disgrace your partner in the public. That can also make your partner feel they are not wanted in that relationship. All right? There are people that they don't care. They will tell you that, me, I have a free mind. I will say my mind anywhere, anytime. Those set of persons would be having issue in their relationship, because you can't be embarrassing me in the public and you expect me to play all cool. You expect me to feel like everything is all okay, right? So that's another point where you could see two persons who are in relationship but yet they are not together. And then what are other points when they are also maybe, for instance, I'm correcting you a particular thing. I say, please, I would want you to adjust in this part. I would want you to adjust in this area. Then you are not making any attempts to adjust. Just trust me that that very relationship will be heading towards a breakup, right? Now, what are other areas we could look onto? When one person feels like he's giving in all her effort or all his effort, and then the other person is not making any effort at all to compensate, it could also lead to misunderstanding in relationship. And then value differences in terms of, these are what I believe I strongly hold on to, and then this other person too has his or her own value, and then we don't seem to look for a point where we can compromise. So that's point where we do not compromise, it can lead to rough edges, it can lead to friction in the relationship, right? So in this point, How do you identify red flags that this relationship is going, things are deteriorating, things are not going as planned? For the ladies, some ladies, after they have corrected you over and over, okay, so please click. Okay, okay, thank you so much, Blessing, thank you so much. So most times when the lady keep telling you that I don't like this particular thing, please don't repeat it. Or I don't like this set of friends you are keeping, I will want you to make adjustment, and you do not want to make any effort at all in that regard, trust me, for most ladies, they will start keeping quiet. They will just, that area of your life, they'll just do, I think they call it I don't care. They'll just act like they don't care about it. Little by little, before you would know it, they are looking for somebody that can listen to them, that can also take their suggestion. That is another way to identify. Another aspect is when things are, let's say for instance, the lady, most times if you do something wrong, she'll walk up and tell you that this thing, I think you are not doing it well, and then she noticed that each time she wants to call you, she wants to correct you, you don't listen. When you are now in trouble, trust me, she would not want to render any solution, render any suggestion. So that's another point that we should notice. Another one for the male. For the male, if they notice that you have female friends that are possibly they are also cheating. You know that most persons may see, let's say for instance, if two of us were friends, right, I may be seeing you cheating, but I cannot tell your own, I cannot tell your boyfriend, I cannot tell your girlfriend that you are cheating. So when I now have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and then that person is keeping company with you, and more or less the company is becoming more intimate than I thought, it will make me suspicious. And possibly I'm telling you, don't keep company with that person, and you don't want to cut off ties with the person. It can also lead to misunderstanding. And for me, if I keep trying, it's not working, I'll know that for you, there is nothing serious connected with. Going forward, my attention will shift towards another person. So those are some of the red flags that we should actually take note of when it has to do with this misunderstanding. Okay, so for instance, what are those other things that someone should look out for? Repeated lies. When your partner keep telling you lies, you cannot trust his or her words, you cannot tally his or her words. So those are red flags for you to know that this person, this relationship, if I continue the way it's going, I will not be happy. Things will not go as I want. Another one is when the person is abusing you emotionally or physically. I will not even advise anyone. I used to say this thing in an humorous way. I used to say that now people where they are alive, now them go love. So when someone is abusing you emotionally, when someone is abusing you physically, please look for your distance. Start running for your life. Some of these things are actually patternistic in nature. Okay? For instance, someone that have repeated lies, habits of repeated lies, just know that that person is someone that is deceptive in nature, and the person can betray you. So you need to start running for your life. The next one is when the person is physically abusing you. It starts from little slaps. It starts from little hits. He will hit you the first time. You don't show him that you are not comfortable. You don't take it serious. The next one will be more intense than the previous one. So those are some of the patterns that you should not play down on. Those are red flags you should not play down. The next one have to do with isolation from friends or family. You are saying that your partner is someone that would not subscribe to instruction, not listen to someone's advice. If anybody seems to, if there's anybody in his life that looks like, okay, he will advise him when he's doing wrong, then you see him starting, he will cut off those set of persons. And then persons that cannot advise him are the ones he's comfortable to go around with. That is a major red flag you should not play with. Or somebody that, I will say this, if you are in love with a guy or a lady that does not listen to their parents, know that they will not listen to you. Because if they do not listen to their parents, who is superior, who is more or less an authority figure to them, is it you that is even looking for their attention that they will listen to? So you need to look at these patterns. You need to look at them. They are really major red flags. The next one has to do with chronic disrespect, which I've said earlier. Somebody that can disrespect you in the public, does not care how you feel about it. That is a red flag you should not play down on. The next one has to do with someone that if there is an issue, he will keep you silent for a century. He doesn't care how you feel. That is something you should not play down on. Then the next one is inconsistent behavior without change, which I've mentioned earlier. So those are red flags that you should not play with. Now, how do you handle some of these misunderstanding when you have seen there is a misunderstanding? First of all, you need to accept that something is wrong. You need to recognize it. If you don't recognize that there is a misunderstanding, you will not solve it. Now, when there is a misunderstanding, after you have recognized that something is wrong in the relationship, that something is actually wrong, the next step would have to do with identifying the root cause. Now, don't look at who is wrong. The attention should be focused on what is wrong. Because if you change your attention to who is wrong, it will be a blame game. It will end up as a blame game. So you should focus your attention on what is actually wrong. By looking for what is actually wrong, you are looking at behavioral patterns that you are not comfortable with, acts that you are not comfortable with, words that you are not comfortable with. So with that, you'll be able to identify the root cause. So I say that your attention should be shifted from who is wrong to what is wrong. And when you can identify what is wrong, it will now take you to the next step of what? Looking for how to reestablish trust, looking for how to correct that thing that is wrong. Okay? So if you shift your attention from who is wrong, you have avoided blame game, then you can now effectively solve the issue, which is what is wrong. So which I say what is wrong now, we are looking at behavioral patterns. We are looking at words that you are not okay with. We are looking at actions that you are not okay with. So if your partner say, these particular friends you are keeping company with, I don't like them, that is what is wrong. Or if your partner tells you, the way you spoke with me the other time, I don't like it, that is the word. It means your manner of approach is what is actually wrong. If your partner say, last time, or I have noticed over time, if I tell you something serious about me that is disturbing me, you don't tend to take it serious. That shows you what is wrong is that you have not been paying attention to how they feel and what they are going through. So the root cause, now if you have identified the root cause, the next step is to target what is actually wrong, not the person. But some person, their attention is shifted to who is wrong. And then at the end of the day, fault finding, it will only help in compounding the whole issue, of which at the end of the day, there is no solution. Because everybody want to give justification and excuses for why they did what they did. And if everybody is giving justification, then where do we now look for solution? Okay, so the next step, which is the fourth one, which I've said that you are going to look for the third one, which is how to build the communication, if it is communication issue, how to build the trust, if it is trust issue, how to cut off from, if it is people related or if it is things related she wants you to cut off from, or he wants you to cut off from. So you need to look at how to reestablish or rebuild those trust and so on. So for some persons, it may be that they caught you cheating, for instance. You cannot, at that point, it will take, one thing we should know about trust is that Once trust is lost, it's not easy to build it up. It's not easy at all. So it will take you some inconvenience. Sometimes it may involve your phones. You need to be transparent with your phones. You need to be transparent with places you are going to. You need to be transparent with who you are keeping company with, and a lot of things, because you want to build back the trust. So you may need to make some sacrifices. Sometimes if your partner say you have not been giving me enough time, you may need to go back and check your schedule and see how to reorder things, how to rearrange your schedule so that it can favor all parties that are involved. Because in relationship, there should be some level of compromises. It should not just be one person that is compromising, right? Thank you everyone for connecting. I really appreciate. Thank you so much. Please do well to like the live stream, okay? Do help me to like the live stream. The next one is, some persons, it is very difficult for them to apologize. If it needs you to apologize, please, apology does not take off your crown as a guy. Apology does not take off your crown as a lady. Apology even shows that you are responsible enough to take ownership of your fault, to take ownership of your flaws. So sometimes, most misunderstanding would have ended with the simple "I am sorry. I will not do this again. I am sorry. It will not repeat itself again. I'm sorry. I will work on my lapses. I'm sorry. I will see how to change." So simple magic words like "I am sorry," it's enough to have solved or to have salvaged most of the breakup that people have. But some people are so proud and full of themselves that they cannot say "I am sorry" when they need to say "I am sorry." And then they will lose a relationship that have spent months, years to even build. Marriages have broken up, homes have scattered because they could not say the simple "I am sorry," right? So sometimes you may need to apologize. And then I've said that sometimes it is not just "I am sorry." You cannot cheat on someone and say "I am sorry" and it will end there. So sometimes it may involve you proving the "I am sorry" in actions. All right? It may involve you proving it with actions. You may go out of your way to prove it in action. Proving in action by not repeating the same act. Proving in action by curtailing what your partner do not like. Proving it in action by getting them surprised. There are different ways you could do that. So what am I saying in essence? If you apologize, there are certain misunderstanding that goes beyond just "I am sorry" to putting the "I am sorry" in action. The next one has to do with when you have sought out that misunderstanding, right? There's this thing that most people don't do. It may be common in females. Female will tell you "I forgive, but I don't forget." For the guys, we find it discomforting where if I have done a mistake, you keep repeating it, and I feel both parties will feel the same way. So if your partner has been wrong in any point at all, and then they had apologized, they have shown it, they really apologize, don't repeat that same thing. There are people that they can keep reminding you something that happened even 20 years ago. They'll keep reminding you that thing. Anytime there's little misunderstanding, they will bring up the same topic. With that, you are only going to help compound the whole issue. With that, you are only going to help to push your partner away emotionally. Nobody will want to stay comfortably with someone that have an unforgiving spirit. The fact that you are reminding the person what had happened 2 months ago, 3 years ago, it means that you have an unforgiving spirit. It means that you did not even forgive the person when the person apologized. So what are we saying in essence? Don't bring back the past into the present. So whatever had happened in the past should remain in the past. Don't remind your partner of their past flaws, of their past mistake. Don't remind them of it. It hurts their feelings. It hurts their emotion. Don't remind them of them. Let the past be in the past. Allow the past be in the past. And then there's this one about the past we need to talk about, okay? Some persons, whenever there is misunderstanding, they will go back to those set of friends that their partner have said, I don't want to see you again with. Or if it is for the guy, they might go back to somebody that was their ex. Let the past remain in the past. Whatsoever has been past, let it remain in the past. So it's not just about what, even actions that were in the past should remain in the past. With this, it will help you to build trust from your partner. It will show remorse, that you were actually remorseful. So I'm saying also, don't remind your partner of their past mistakes. Don't, any little misunderstanding, you are bringing back the past. Any little misunderstanding, you are bringing back that past topic. This is how you hurt me. This is the same thing you did that time. I did not like how you did this thing that time. As you keep bringing up that thing, you are hurting the feeling, the emotions of your partner. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Comfort. Thank you so much. So the next one would be for you to build boundaries. Okay? You need to build boundaries. For guys, I watched an interview. I think that should be 2 days ago that that interview actually took place. That's one of our star in Africa, where where they were asking Two Face about if how does he see feeling, sorry, cheating and so on. So it was like for all guys, it is in their DNA to cheat, and he called it that it's in the biology of men to cheat. My dear, as guy, if you don't curtail or set boundaries how you relate with females when you are dating, it can hurt your relationship. It can actually hurt it. Because this thing about feelings is that when you give attention, whatever, have you seen that whatever you don't give attention to does not sustain in your mind? It will not sustain in your mind. But whatever you give attention to, the next thing, it will build emotion. This thing, emotion is a byproduct of attention. Whatever you give your attention to, your emotion will be binded to that thing because the thing will be living in your mind. So set boundaries. Don't give somebody that you don't want to build anything serious with attention. Try to reduce the attention. As a female, you know you are dating someone. Try to reduce your attention because guys, we are easy to start believing things even though they are not true. We are easy to start believing it. Once a female start giving you attention, some of us can easily confuse it and feel that that attention she's giving you is because she's in love with you. It's because you people, she's giving you green light. They call it green light. She's giving you the sign that if you approach her, you people can start doing things together. Whereas you know you have a relationship. As a female, the same thing. So don't give room for suspicion. Don't give room for assumption. Set boundaries. Set boundaries, okay? So that you will not compound issue with your partner. The next one would be that for some persons, when you have misunderstanding and you're trying to mend things together, there's some misunderstanding that you may need to excuse yourselves for a while. But let there be a time limit. If you don't mind, I would want you to excuse me for an hour. I want you to give me till tomorrow. Can we talk tomorrow morning? Because you know that the atmosphere, that feeling, the restrained mood from that misunderstanding is still there, and any other thing can keep provoking it. So just to de-escalate the whole atmosphere, I saw one report. Yes, I was reading a documentary. Sorry, I was going through a documentary yesterday where a particular lady happened to unalive her husband. That misunderstanding has started for so long, right from it started in the morning till night. They were still together. In fact, at some point, the friend wanted the husband to stay in his house, and if the husband had stayed in his house, that incident wouldn't have happened. So when you see that the atmosphere is getting too intense, sometimes you may need to excuse yourself. That's another way of de-escalating things. But that does not mean you should keep your partner for so long because you want to excuse yourself. So the next one will be know the difference between conflict and toxicity. Where you are in a relationship whereby your partner is always lying to you, my dear, you are under slavery. When you are in a relationship where you are afraid if you tell him this, he may want a breakup or you may lose him. If you see something that is bad and then you cannot open up to tell your partner, then that is not a relationship. You are actually under slavery. So you should actually know the difference between conflict and toxicity. Conflict is when you people have two interests, two opposite interests, and then because there is an opposite interest, it mounts tension so that you people can both come to a compromising position. All right? So conflict happens for you people to come to a compromise and not for one person to feel dominated, for one person to feel as a slave, for one person to feel like the junior, the boy. No, that's not why uh, conflicts are there. Conflict are to make you understand each other perfectly. Conflict are to make you to grow up, to know how to feed or to promote each other emotion. Conflict are there for you to understand what your partner likes and what your partner dislikes. But the moment where you can no longer express yourself without feeling the sense of being judged, it means it has started becoming toxic. So at that point, you may need to take a walk, because if you are in a space where you cannot air your mind, you only keep aggravating things, and one day you will end up finding yourself in a bitter relationship. That is what it will give you. You find yourself in a bitter relationship because you cannot tell your partner when they are wrong. You cannot correct your partner when they are wrong, because you feel if you do so, the way they will react aggressively to you. Then at that point, you are not in a relationship, you are in a toxic one. So that will take us to the next one. Sometimes I don't advise third parties in relationship, right? But I would recommend that if you see things are not going well, things are going all messy, and it is totally out of control, there may be need for you to call, which is why I say, if you listen to me earlier, I say, if you have a partner that does not have an authority figure in their life, that is a major red flag. Because in times like this where things have completely go out of control, you may need to reach out to the person that person will listen to explain yourself, to tell them to help you speak with your partner. All right? Those are times that those persons are really needed. But when they do not even have one, who do you now reach out to? So third parties should come in when things have gotten all messed up. And then the third party should be somebody that the person would listen to, not your friend. If you are speaking to your friend that you know that your friend would do little or nothing, then it is not a good person to introduce into that relationship, because you may not even know if the person is even jealous of both of you. Rather, what I advise is, or what I recommend is, speak to somebody that is an authority figure to that person, so that the person can listen to the advice and then make amends. All right? So that will take me to the next one, which is set a timeline for improvement. So if I'm telling you that I'm going to change, for instance, you are complaining about my schedule as my girlfriend or my wife, all right? You say I'm becoming too busy this day. I'll tell you, give me 2 weeks, give me 1 month, and I'm going to work on my roster. I'm going to work on my schedule. With that, it will give your partner that how do I call it? To give your partner that perception that you are ready to take up responsibility, you are ready to take up ownership of your flaws, and you are ready to put things together and in place. All right. So sometimes you may need to give timeline to things. You may actually need to give timeline to things. So the next one is pay attention to how your partner feel, not just what is being said, right? There's how your partner can actually tell you, okay, it's fine. You were pleading or something happened, and then your partner is telling you, okay, I have heard you. But that I've heard you, she has moved on or he has moved on. So sometimes you may need to go beyond just what they are saying, look beyond what they are saying, and then try to read meaning to what they are actually acting out. Because what they are acting out may be more reliable than what they are saying in most instances. So what am I saying in essence? Pay close attention to how your partner feels. If it was something that have to do with cheating, trust me, no matter how the lady pretend, it will take a while before she fully adjusts. So don't just pay less attention to how she her body language around you. Don't pay less attention, because you may have even lost her since she has moved on with someone else. She's only looking for a strategy for you to look to maybe do something else that she can use for an excuse and move on totally with her life. So go beyond the words that are just being said, and then see the actions that are put forth, so that if you may need to take further step, you will do so. All right. The next one is when you have seen that, as I said earlier, all those red flags, even with all the things that are being said, you keep talking and talking and talking, there is no adjustment. You may need to actually take a walk. All right. When your partner refuses to totally change, you may need to take a walk, because sometimes if you continue in that relationship, trust me, things will only get messier than what they were. So at this point, we may want to draw the curtain at this point. I don't know if there's any contribution, any suggestion. Please drop it in the comment box. Any contribution, any suggestion. Thank you so much, everyone, for connecting. Please help me to like the live stream, okay? Any contribution at all, any suggestion? How do you think? What are those strategies for those of us connected? How do you manage your misunderstanding? If you have misunderstanding with your partner, how do you manage it? Share with us in the comment box, okay? Share with us in the comment box. We are here to learn. We are here to learn. Let us know in the comment box. How do you handle misunderstanding? Do you just keep quiet and move on? Do you just pretend as though nothing happened? How do you manage it in your own way? Let's see in the comment box. Yeah, with us, let me hear our own suggestion. How do you handle misunderstanding when they come? Do you just keep quiet and then play along as though nothing happened? Are you the type that say, I don't have time for keeping things in my mind, I'll just say it the way it is, whether it is in the market square? Okay, you say, if you have a misunderstanding, talk about it, all right? Yeah, if you have misunderstanding, talk about it. Don't just be the type that will be swallowing up things. Because one day, when you want to burst, one thing about emotions, when you suppress you suppress it, yeah. When you continue compounding emotion, the day you will express it, you may go out of board. You may actually go out of board. You go out of board. So sometimes you may need to just call your partner attention, talk about it. Okay? So Blessing says, resolve the issue by talking things out amicably. Yeah. Now, do you know that sometimes the way you talk to your partner when he or she offend you also matters? If you talk to them in a disrespectful way, it will not lead to a solution, rather lead to further misunderstanding. And then also the way you talk with your partner as the offender also would determine if or will show if there's remorse, or the person would get to believe that you're actually sorry for what you did. So the words that you use also matters. The words you use also matters. It plays a great role. So that's another thing we should not overlook. So it says resolve the issue by talking things out amicably. Yeah, thank you so much for that blessing. You must see how to talk things out amicably. Don't just pretend as though things are okay. Talk things out. And then also be cautious and mindful with the words you use. Be civil with the words. Don't use abusive words. Don't use commanding words. Be subtle in addressing the misunderstanding. All right, any other contribution? Any other contribution? Thank you everyone for connecting. Thank you so much. Any other contribution? All right, I think at this point we may need to draw the curtain here. I want to especially appreciate every one of us for connecting. Our time has really been something of pleasure to me. I greatly appreciate, and for those of us that are just meeting this channel for the first time, I want to especially appreciate you. I do wish that you click the subscribe button so that whenever beautiful sections like this comes up, you also be one of the first persons to check it out, okay? So let's say yes, so someone can forget your actions but can't forget your words. Words goes deeper. Yeah, words actually go deeper. You don't just because I've offended you talk with me anyhow. You disrespect me. So you must know the type of word. You must be selective with your words. So please, if you are not connecting, do what to subscribe. And also for my returning subscriber, I also appreciate all of you. I look forward to that moment when this particular channel becomes your most favorite click. But for now, I wish us a beautiful time. Let's keep enjoying our day. Let's keep enjoying our day. Please, if you are not subscribed, help me to subscribe, okay? And as we said, today's discussion was on when things goes messier. What do you do when things go messy? So we are saying, blessing say, talk things out. We have recommend a lot of things. You have to recognize it. You have to be humble enough to address it. Be selective in words and so on. So don't forget that the impression you give, it will last longer beyond just your action, beyond just your words. To be selective in both your action and your words so that you don't create a wrong impression in the heart or the mind of your partner. There's how you can say sorry. There's what we call sarcasm. There's how you can say sorry. Your partner will know that you don't mean that sorry at all. So you need to be very mindful of your words, selective of your words and your action. So thank you everyone. We have to draw the curtain at this point. See us in subsequent sections, okay? God bless. Take care.